Hi there. Today is such a beautiful day. It's a Saturday. Um, the sky is blue and clear. Some trees are green. And I find myself close to my 36th birthday, thinking about what I've achieved in my life and what I haven't gotten to as yet. I've been thinking about this for a very long time, and I realized that my goals are not the same for everyone as they are for me. At this point in my life, all I want is peace. I want peace of mind and the ability to go and buy myself something if I need it without worrying about how it's going to affect the rest of my wallet. And then I kept thinking about how I got there. And I also realized that I had a very different experience growing up from my siblings or the rest of my household, because I had so many responsibilities that I didn't realize I shouldn't have really had. And sometimes it's difficult to look back and think about all the things that I did and all of the choices that I've made, because they put me in the situation that I'm in at the moment. The issue with that, I think it's not actually an issue, is that I don't actually regret any of my choices, because all of them made me the person that I am today. I admit that I think very differently from the rest of my family, and I can't say that I'm upset about it. It does alienate you in a sense. I started my YouTube channel because essentially I thought that I had something to give the world, because I'm very isolated, and I've been told enough times that I can motivate someone in a sense. The issue is that I'm not very sociable, right? And then I started thinking about why I got to this point, and I realized that I have never been alone in my life. And I'm not talking about alone in the sense that I've had a boyfriend or anything. It's just there has always been someone in my life who has tried to dictate what I do, who has indirectly forced me to make decisions that benefited them. I was also forced, in a sense, to not be able to vocalize what I needed to vocalize in order for me to have a healthy mindset and a healthy emotional balance between everything that I needed to do and achieve and take care of. And recently I've been looking at a lot of how shall I say it? I've been watching, listening to a lot of people talk about how they experienced their childhood and why they became such people pleasers, and why do they feel so unaccomplished. I mean, granted, not all of them are. There've been some people who have really not sacrificed, but persevered to getting what they want. But it's also come with a lot of alienation from their family, because, hello, you're supposed to be doing something, and now you decided to make a decision that goes against everything we did, we thought, we had planned. And the one common denominator is that I found firstborns in a family, specifically firstborn daughters. And I think the fact that I have this perspective for myself makes me uniquely qualified to be able to talk on the matter. But also, it comes with a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of unbelievable guilt. And I realized that it's my birthday. It's my birthday soon. And I have 35 years of experience, and I haven't done really anything to be able to heal that. As I worked through everything that I was thinking, I realized that the main purpose of me being able to start my YouTube channel and do this first episode was that I can't afford therapy. And it's expensive everywhere, right? And the city that I'm living in, whenever you go to any kind of medical practitioner, they ask you to pay first and then claim from your medical aid. And while that's fine, some of us don't have the ability to pay up front and then claim because we have to sacrifice so many other things. I needed an outlet to work through all of these things, and I realized that I do best when I talk about it. There was the thing is, we as firstborn daughters have realized that we don't trust. You need to prove your trust to us. We don't open ourselves up because we were taught that it was bad. We can't vocalize our feelings and emotions because it was never allowed, so we never learned how to. And then we get to this point where we can't trust anyone. We can't let anyone in, and we're not healing from it. So how do we get there, right? I think being able to get over my fear of public speaking is the first thing, hence the Faceless podcast. But also, I find that when I'm talking through stuff, I actually understand it better and I can work through it and I can work forward from it. And I do not have the confidence or the ability at this point to be able to look someone in the eye and tell them everything that's wrong with me or everything that I think is wrong with me. And I have been thinking about this first episode for over 2 months already. And I've written transcripts, and I realized that none of them were good enough. But by whose standards? By mine? Because we know that my standards are so unbelievably high that even sometimes I fail to live up to that, which in a sense sabotages me. And when you come to that realization that the only reason that you are in a situation is because you are the one that sabotages yourself, it's very sobering. There's going to be a lot of ums and ahs because while I did prepare for this episode, I still think that I need that bit of authentic sort of dialogue between myself, because how else am I going to work through it? I mean, there's some planning that needs to be done, but you still have to start somewhere. And if I keep thinking that nothing is good enough, when am I going to start? So, as a birthday present to myself, I'm going to do this, whether it sounds good or not, whether I sound good or not, whether people love this or hate this. I decided that this is going to be a birthday present to myself, something that I start to begin my healing journey, to speak about everything that comes along with my life. And I think a lot of people like me would be able to relate. So, if you've reached this far, thank you for joining. Welcome to Confessions of a Firstborn Daughter. And I'd like some interaction from all those firstborn daughters who struggle with their lives every day because of the fact that they're a firstborn daughter. We know that the reality of life is that we are the ones that bear the brunt of black tax. And if we don't heal ourselves, who's going to do it for us? So the first thing I thought about was what it means to be me. What does it mean to be the firstborn daughter? While I understand that it does vary for everyone, one common theme I have seen is that it is in our nature to handle things. We were always pushed to responsibility without help to the extent that we developed hyper independence. We have the inability to trust others and ask for help. We are the second parent in a household and never received any recognition or credit for that. Some of us will look down upon when they realize we were not the firstborn son. We were the test children. And we found that our existence was decent for a while, until the time we became the eldest sister. Then, somehow we became so important. But that wasn't necessarily in a good way. I can only speak from my experience, but I was genuinely happy when I heard that I was becoming a big sister. It ended up changing the trajectory of my life. That's not to say that I didn't have good times or love my siblings and my family. I just experienced it in a very different way from the others. I grew up in a strict household. I knew that children were meant to be seen and not heard. I grew up to fear everything, and that's how I was kept under control. My sister, though, she had a very different upbringing. And we lived in the same house. So how does that make sense? Because we got very different parents. I remember getting a pinch on my mouth when I tried to voice my concerns of unfair treatment. I remember being responsible for everything in my household, while my sister had no responsibilities. I even got punished for things that my sister did. And why? Because I was the eldest and I was responsible to show them how to behave. I was the one that got punished if I couldn't control my siblings' behavior. I was further laughed at and compared to my cousins. Next, why can't you be like your cousin? See how nice her toys are displayed. All yours are laying broken around. Why do we even get you anything when you don't even look after it? At every point, I felt insignificant. With everything that I need, I felt insignificant with everything. I needed to always prove myself worthy. Boy, did I try. I became the good daughter, the one that followed the rules, the one that pleased everyone, the one that internalized if I was upset, just so it wouldn't ruin the mood. And honestly, all it got me was trauma, an autoimmune disease, anxiety, and feeling stuck at 36. I mentioned on my channel that I started it because I couldn't afford therapy. And that's the truth. I have gotten to a point where I don't actually know who I am at my core, because I have broken my back helping everyone else prosper. And in a sense, I allowed myself to be left behind. Let me tell you, starting over in your 30s, trying to heal the child you never were, unlearn all of the things that resulted in your self-sabotage, your toxic mindset, and to relearn the good things and find yourself again, that will probably be the thing that you find most difficult. How do you get yourself out of a mindset that has been ingrained in you for over 30 years? How do you deal with the guilt of leaving your family to learn the lessons you stole from them? This process will involve a ton of introspection, peeling back the layers of who I am to get to discover the person I want to be: secure, financially stable, at peace, confident, courageous, and without fear. I want to heal my inner child. And even if no one hears this podcast, my hope is that I can build myself to be a powerful woman by my own standards. Not someone who is afraid to even hear her own voice, but someone who can speak up to build others up, not only herself, just so she can witness their growth and success. Because that is what I love seeing. That is the one thing I realized that I love. Seeing other people go to great lengths to become great people. And I do mean that by them having a sense of morality and value, by not hurting other people to get what they want. I want to be that person who speaks to the masses so she can help at least one person. That one person who can become the powerhouse they were meant to be. To be the woman that doesn't feel the need to prove herself to anyone. Finally, I think I speak for most firstborn daughters when I say that we have tried and we are tired. We deserve to be truly loved, even if that person loving us is ourselves. It is time we put ourselves first. I leave you now with a quote from a video that I found on TikTok. I'm unsure about the author, and this is not my words, but I think it's so true and would resonate with both of us. My hope is that you will join me on this new journey, and that it will hopefully heal us and get you on your way to starting your own path to stability and peace. Until next time, goodbye for now.
The most tired soul in the family. It's not the mother, not the father, not the younger siblings. It's the eldest daughter. She became second mom before she became a teenager. She was taught to put others first, to be mature, responsible, selfless, to carry the emotional weight no one saw. She grew up fast, too fast. While others got to be kids, she was helping raise them. While others cried, she had to stay strong. She became the fixer, the listener, the problem solver. But who checks on her? Who listens to her pain? She's expected to always have it together, to always be okay. But deep down she's exhausted. She sacrifices silently, cries behind closed doors, breaks, but keeps going. Because that's what the eldest daughter does. She doesn't complain, she doesn't quit. But that doesn't mean she's not hurting. Check on her, love on her. Tell her she doesn't always have to be strong. Even superheroes need rest. Drop a 100 if you agree with me, and pass this on to someone who needs it. God bless.